The following video is a demonstration of how to determine the saturated surface dry condition in accordance with IS-EN 1097 Part 6 using the Pycnometer method. Sampling of the aggregate shall be carried out in accordance with EN 932 Part 2 and reduced in accordance with EN 933 Part 1. Mass of the test portion of aggregate shall not be less than the masses in Table 2 which follows. The table attached illustrates Table 2 minimum test proportions for the test. Interpolation from Table 2 may be necessary to determine some of the minimum test proportions. For example, 20 ml. Interpolation can be carried out in many ways, but this is the way chosen. Wash the test portion on a 31.5 ml and a 4 ml sieve to remove the finer particles. Discard any particle retained in a 31.5 ml sieve. Let the sample drain. Fill the pycnometer with a portion of the prepared test portion. Immerse the test portion in water 22 plus or minus 3 degrees Celsius. Remove entrapped air by rolling and jolting the pycnometer. Place the pycnometer in the curing tank. Keep the test portion at a temperature of 22 plus or minus 3 degrees Celsius for a period of 24 plus or minus 0.5 hours in the curing tank. Remove from the curing tank. Roll and jolt as before to remove any entrapped air. Overfill the pycnometer with water. Dry the pycnometer on the outside and weigh M2. Remove the aggregate from the water and allow it to drain. Transfer the drain test portion onto one of the dry cloths. Gently surface dry the aggregate. Transfer to a second dry cloth once the first cloth has absorbed its maximum amount. Spread the aggregate no more than 1 stone deep on the cloth. Allow the aggregate to dry away from direct sunlight or any heat source. Allow to dry until the aggregate has no films or water but still has a damp appearance. Transfer to a tray and weigh M1. Dry the aggregate in the oven at a temperature of 110 plus or minus 5 degrees Celsius until it has reached a constant mass M4. Refill the pycnometer and place the cover in position as before. Dry the pycnometer outside and weigh it M3. Difference in temperature should not exceed 2 degrees Celsius. Calculations which need to be calculated are outlined in the formulas illustrated. Finally, the test report that must be documented must include reference to the standard, identification of the sample, size fraction of the aggregate, if tested, number of fractions and the percentage, each test fraction, mass of dry samples tested, the method used to determine the particle density and absorption, date of the test, name and location of the testing. Documentation which are optional to the test report are name and location of the test sample, description of the sampling procedure, and petrographic description to ISEN 933 Part 3.